I guess we need to start off. First of all, welcome to your beautiful home, and thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate that. Where have you been? What happened to you? It was all about Jon's here, Jon's there, Jon's everywhere, and then Jon's gone.
Right. I seem to be everywhere about a year ago, and I was doing a lot of things for the community. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody at that time knew where I was at because it was, Jon's here, Jon's there, and I was at the Indian market, and it was a big, huge deal over there. But yeah, I mean, since then I just kind of dropped off the face of the earth, and it was for good reasons.
Good reasons?
Yeah, I mean, I got engaged, and I felt that I had to take some time away from what I was doing to focus my energy on my family. I had a new fiance, and we have kids, and I believe that they deserve my full attention for however long it took to get ourselves situated here in Chandler, Arizona, and that's where we live now.
Hamilton High School.
Hamilton.
Shout out to Hamilton High School.
That's where my girls go, and it's one of the best schools, in the state of Arizona. So highly accredited. So
right on.
I feel that they deserve that.
Well, you certainly picked a beautiful area of Chandler. So
Very
it's good,
private,
good to have you back. Seeing you being involved, and we've got what's the automotive company? The
JBA.
JBA Automotive is coming up with some work, a little bit of a photo shoot going on over there.
Yeah, that was another one of my projects. I brought it up to JBA and said, hey, what about doing a photo shoot? It gives them some exposure. And JBA is actually one of the better luxury car sellers. It's a car.
Awesome.
A car dealership. They're just focused more or less on high-end cars. BMWs and Bentleys and Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And so it was pretty cool to actually collaborate with the owner and have him, consider us going on with him and doing some filming and doing some photography. And actually, what my whole thought about the whole thing is because I've never really seen Native Americans mixing in with luxury cars. I mean, you always see just the opposite.
Sure.
I mean, but yeah, I thought maybe this would be a great idea. Just something new. And everybody's looking for something new. I don't have a problem with traditional style photography, but at the same time, I'm always one to kind of step out of the box a little bit and just try something new. With the Native American models is
sure.
I think they're always they're kind of getting tired of the same routine. A big shout out to Lauren Aragon, a good friend of mine, Akinov Clothing. He kind of did the same thing too. He took Native fashion to a whole new level, outside of our norm, and that's kind of what I'm doing too. It's not so much that I want to be in modeling anymore. I'm more focused on my acting career as opposed to anything else, and also my movie Until Darkness. But I'm trying to also help fellow just Native Americans trying to get into the modeling industry. I know there's a lot of girls out that I've worked with that always wanted to do something new, but it always seems like they're running into kind of like it's like a plateau. They just seem
like a glass ceiling.
Exactly. They just can't seem to go past a certain point.
Sure.
So I think this photo shoot would actually give them a little bit of a stepping stone to go past that. They start doing photo shoots with the luxury cars, and so I think that will just give them a little bit more motivation to do something more than just what they're accustomed to.
Sure, I think it's a fascinating juxtaposition when you say these are your norms and your stereotypes, and you can still completely embrace those cultural identities without entrenching yourself in those cultural identities. Like, you can be those things and still allow yourself to love these other elements of life. All cultures can love all these elements, and so I think that's an awesome thing. That's an awesome thing. You mentioned Untold Darkness. Tell me about Untold Darkness.
Untold Darkness. I guess a movie brainchild. It's going on since 2016. I've been writing for about a year and a half, you know, and I just recently started working on the scripts for Highway Girl.
I was going to say Highway Girl.
Yeah,
the first
Highway
one.
Girl is the first series, so I'm pretty excited about it. And since I've been taking a break, I've really been into it. Like, I really made a lot of attempts to get my logistics crew, lighting crew, my audio crew, editors, and, you know, other producers that, you know, want to be co-producers to the whole film. And I've had all that set up, you know, when I took my break, but of course, you know, because of the decisions I made, they decided to go their own way, and not a big deal. You know, I've had other resources to get, you know, the film started, but right now, I think I moved. I've been taking steps to actually start the film again, you know, and now that you know, the family's established and we got everything, you know, pretty much balanced here at home. Now I can start focusing my energy on the film, and we've been making trips out to Super Rock, New Mexico, where we've actually found locations where we can start filming, where we can set up the, you know, all the camera equipment. I know the very beginning of the film calls for a Hogan, you know, to where we can do our. It's going to be sort of like an intro to every series. It's going to be the same shot, but it's going to be different stories. So it's going to be kind of like an introduction to the story.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be pretty cool, you know. So I've already got that all laid out, and we're going to be doing a casting call here soon. You know, trying to find some people to fit the characters that I want, and some children as well.
Nice.
And again, I'm super excited. You know, with the help and support of my fiance as well. She's been super supportive. Moving forward, you know, which helps out a lot as well, you know, because it is going to be kind of a strenuous thing, and it's going to take a lot of my focus and attention as we progress, and a lot more meetings, a lot more people involved, and so I guess with her support, it's going to be super awesome. But we're going to be starting that, really moving into it in 2019, the beginning of 2019. But our casting call is actually going to be at the end of 2018.
All right, end of 2018. Keep your eyes peeled for the Untold Darkness casting calls. Because now, one of the things I'm curious about, when, like, if you Google top 10 native myths, you're going to get skinwalkers right off the top, and that's, you know, a Dene legend, Arizona, you know, native New Mexico legend right here at home. The other top 9 aren't from Arizona. So when you look at native legends, you know, the Highway Girl, how much of that will be brand new information that people have never really heard about? Like, I have never heard of the Highway Girl before. That'd be a new legend for me.
I think that's what's really going to make this movie great. These series, if we decide to take it to a series, it gives a whole new approach, a new audience, like yourself,
exactly,
to what we believe in as Native Americans, and we perceive these ghosts and the things that we talk about on the reservation.
Very cool.
I know Skinwalkers has been kind of diluted, you know,
very
per se,
very.
as you know, as it went on, and now you have, you know, this latest Skinwalkers movie that just came out. I'm not sure exactly who the filmmaker was, but they portrayed them as kind of like a werewolf, vampire kind of.
Yeah, they're always werewolf derivatives.
Yeah, it's completely incorrect. So I'm trying to make it politically correct on our standpoint.
Very
make
good.
it, you know, as though these are just every story that we put out there is going to make it exactly the way we know it as Native Americans, the way we hear it from our grandparents, and you know, and I'm really not going to make it. I'm really not going to water it down. You know, I really want to make these things as authentic as possible, and the way we and other people that have encountered these things, the way they see them, you know, how gory they look, how scary they look, you know, their eyes, and just everything about it, you know. And the Highway Girl is really gonna show that. And, you know, I really want to take it back to, you know, like the American Werewolf, you know, style, American Werewolf from London style of using authentic makeup and that type of, you know. I believe that to me was really scary.
Yeah.
Know? Before all this digital stuff came in and digital animation, that kind of took the excitement out of a real horror movie. You know.
I agree.
So, and that's kind of where I want to take it. You know.
Very cool.
I do want to find an amazing makeup artist. You know, somebody that can really do, you know, great work, and see if we can try to make these things super scary.
Cool.
You know? And then again, you know, going back to the audience, it's going to give them better idea, a better sense of what we perceive these things as. And what we see.
I think coming from my perspective, not above and beyond that, what your neighbors believe. Like, we have an awful lot more square miles than any other state in the country, in Arizona, of
Right.
native nations, native lands that are our neighboring peoples with completely different belief systems, completely different setups of society. And that curiosity should be there to make us better neighbors. It makes
Right.
us better people. And I find what you're doing fascinating. One more question for you, Jon, because this is kind of where I revolve around. I'm trying to build a community of artists, people working together, people trying to help each other work to where their dreams happen. And I'm drawn to people that are using these platforms to give something back to a world that is pretty messed up. So I know one of your major pushes in your life is to give back to the Dene, give back to your people.
Right.
Would you tell us a little bit about some of your efforts to give back to your people?
Right. I believe that we don't do that enough, especially those that are well off, that are Native American and they have or are, pursuing their dreams. And what I see a lack of are those just willing to give back, to those that really believe in them as well. I believe that a lot of our help comes from the community, and our Native community it's not big, and for us to become what we dream about really does. The community support really does help us a lot, and it also means more as well, knowing that we're a poverty-stricken community. So every little thing that they give, as far as trips to make casillas or support things that we do, it should mean that much more to see that they're making these efforts with what little money they have and stuff. So it's a big deal, and I don't think that we're supporting that, and giving back to the community. So my ways of doing so, and just helping, is just reaching out to those our people, and just making them understand that dreams are not far from reach. That anything is possible, anything can be done, and just don't give up and just keep trying. I make trips out to schools and different places to try to help motivate and try to teach kids that these things are within reach. If you just keep believing them, because so many people out there that are keeping their dreams from happening by telling them that things can't be done because they're Native American, or this is not what we're supposed to be doing. I believe that's something that is just kind of keeping them from achieving so many things. We have so many talented Native Americans out there, and last year when I was traveling around, I've been to Gallup, I've been to New Mexico, I've been to Albuquerque, I've been to everywhere. I've been everywhere, just meeting different people, and I was there with the crowning of Miss Navajo last year. I was invited out to that, and a lot of these different fashion shows, comedians. There's so much talent, but they didn't have the support, that they should have. And I believe if we just added a little bit more support and gave them that much more support, they would actually be something. And there's people that are trying to go to America's Got Talent.
Sure.
So many things, and I think just
Tito went
exactly,
to
yeah.
Tito went to
Tito
America's
Hoover,
Got-
yeah.
Yep.
Tito Hoover.
Shout out Tito Hoover.
So just that kind of dedication and that type of motivation is what it just, for me, being there and just supporting their one show, on my own dime, paying my own gas to go see them, just to be there.
Sure.
And show them out in social media, especially when you have a big following like I do and some other guys do.
Sure.
Just sharing that type of information of what they do, it means a lot.
People wouldn't know.
It brings one more person in to buy their ticket, maybe 2 or 10.
Sure.
Any little bit helps. So I think if you have 4, 5, 10 more of me going to do the same, trying to motivate and try to support the same way they do, they can have 30 more people come to
Yes,
their
they would.
shows.
Yep.
So anybody out there trying to help and support, share these videos. I mean, little things, these flyers that a lot of Native Americans put out there, they're comedians, they're singers, they're writers, anything. Share these videos because it does go a long way in our community. You know, it does help out a lot.
Listening to you talk, I was reminded by pulling out my English geekness. Thomas Gray's Elegy in a Country Churchyard, he speaks. For many a flower is born to blush unseen and waste its fragrance on the desert air. And it reminded me of what you're saying. How many talents are there out there in the desert that don't know how to get their voices? They don't have a megaphone. They don't have a platform. And the level of commitment it takes for them to raise from that hogan in the middle of nowhere with no running water to being able to get to America's Got Talent is so much more of a journey than some of the other neighbors might understand. Right. And I think that's what you're trying to. Yeah. That is the message that you're trying to.
Right. And I feel that starting to work on getting this message out at such an early part of my career is actually just going to strengthen me that much more, because I know that when I do get to the point where I want to be in my acting career and in my filmmaking career, I would have had so much exercise and so much I would say so much experience in trying to give back to my my people. That's something that I want them to recognize me as, somebody who always gave back to the community. And even when I do get to that point, that level of success, I still want to be able to come back and show my support to a lot of my fellow Native Americans in our community.
Right on.
And I think there's not enough of that.
No, I don't think there's enough of the support all the way around.
Yeah, because it always seems like, as soon as you make a little bit of money and you decide that, okay, well, now I'm famous and I got all this thing to do, they just kind of leave.
Yeah.
And then these other kids and younger generations that do have that talent try to reach out. And, I get messages all the time from people that are trying to reach out, and then to see somebody that actually hasn't made and is actually trying to, that is comfortable with what they're doing, and have that ability to give them connections to where they can, have a little bit of give them a little push to reach their goals. They don't respond back to people enough. I try to get back, as busy as I am. I try to reach back to these ones that are reaching out to me. Because who knows? This person could just become, the new Adam Beach or the new biggest thing. But you never gave them that chance. You never gave them that opportunity. So these kind of things, they do come around. I always believe it's kind of like what goes around comes around. Karma,
Yeah, very much.
So, and if I try to help them in any way, the community is going to help you boost your, your success just as much.
Awesome.
That's the way it goes.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. That's a great thing. We need more people like you, sir.
Yeah.
So very cool. Very cool.
I want to give a shout out to Lauren. Lauren Aragon is a good friend of mine, Akanov. Of course, Ryan, I appreciate you coming in, spending some time with us as well. And also we give a big shout out to my fiance as well, and all the support she's been giving me, and of course my mom and everybody else that's been in the community has been helping me, supporting me in the things that I'm doing. So
maybe as long as we're gonna give a shout out, Ken, thank you for being the guy that wrote the review. There's my example of the big guy that gave the small guy a little time, because it meant massive amounts. So
all right.
I'm a witness. Thank you very much, sir.